Hey there, Razorback fans. I'm Sydney Lemmerhurt, and I couldn't be more excited to bring you this exclusive behind-the-scenes look at two incredible athletes from the Arkansas Gymbacks. Get ready to meet Callie Swaney and Lauren Williams, two gymnasts who bring their A-game every time they step onto the mat. But before we dive into their stories, let's take a moment to give a shout-out to our sponsor, the Everett Auto Group. They're the driving force behind Buick's See Her Greatness campaign, celebrating the achievements and empowerment of female athletes. With locations in Benton, Bryant, and Rogers, the Everett Auto Group is all about supporting women in sports, and we couldn't be more thankful to have them on board. Now, let's get down to business. I'll be your host for today's interviews, bringing you all the insights from Callie and Lauren. As a former Razorback gymnast, I know firsthand the dedication and hard work it takes to compete at the collegiate level, so I can't wait to hear what these two amazing athletes have to say. It's time to share their stories and discover what makes them true champions on and off the mat. So hi guys, welcome. Hi. Could you both start off by telling us a little bit about yourself, where you're from, and how you got into gymnastics?
Yes, so hi, my name is Callie Swaney. I'm from Gastonia, North Carolina, and I started gymnastics at 4 years old. I was just wild, active, and very competitive at a really young age, so my mom thought it was a great idea to put me in gymnastics.
Yeah, and I'm sure you had a lot of energy.
I did.
Yep.
For sure.
What about you?
My name is Lauren Williams, and I'm from Rogers, Arkansas, and similar to Callie, I was climbing on everything, and so my mom put me in gymnastics around age 5, and I just progressed quickly from there.
Yeah, so this is a little off script, and I'm very interested to hear your story about it, but why did you both choose Arkansas?
Okay, I chose Arkansas because I wanted to be in the SEC, and I had talked to a few other schools, and it just felt like once I talked to the Arkansas staff, like that was where I belonged, and I just felt like we had a great connection from the first time we ever spoke, and I just felt like it was a happy medium between the SEC and also North Carolina.
Yeah.
So I just felt.
How far is it for you?
15 hours.
Okay, so I can relate. Yeah, 12 hours. So it's still pretty far. So it's important to have that home feeling.
Yeah.
What about you? Obviously, you're the hometown hog. You're like one of two ever. So talk a little bit about that too.
Well, so I kind of decided early on that Arkansas was where I wanted to go. I actually originally did not want to go to Arkansas. I wanted to get away. I wanted to move away. But when Jordyn became the head coach, I grew up watching her. She was my idol, and so I knew that's where I needed to go. And I had one conversation with her on the phone, and I decided that that's where my home was, and it was to stay home in Arkansas.
So can you both share a moment in your young career, like in club, where you really realized, I want to keep doing gymnastics, I want to go to college with it, and maybe this is something that I need to dedicate like my entire life to?
Yeah, I just loved like the competitiveness of gymnastics. I felt like it takes a lot of dedication at a really young age, and just growing up with like the role models around me, like the older girls, and seeing them talk to colleges, like I thought it was so cool, and that kind of fueled me to want to keep going and stay committed to it. And also seeing the Olympians like Jordyn, I thought it was so cool, and I just wanted to strive every day to reach that point.
To reach that. What about you?
Well, for me, it was actually Arkansas Gymnastics. Growing up and watching gymnastics and college gymnastics, I realized that that was something I wanted to do, and because I was excelling so quickly, and in the state of Arkansas, gymnastics isn't very big, and so I was excelling and I was winning a lot, and that it was a really cool feeling, and so I decided then that like I wanted to keep doing it and actually pursue it as a career.
Yeah.
So that's how it ended up.
What do you want now, young Razorback fans, to remember about you and look up to as they aspire to be you one day?
Yeah, I would just say I want to come across as someone that enjoys my sport so much and has like a fun, bubbly personality, and really just having like the heart for the sport.
Yeah.
And like I want that to show in my life.
Yeah, because it's a sport that you have to be like all in, or it's not really worth it in the end, honestly.
Yeah, that's kind of hard. I would say for me, like the role I have playing here, being a hometown hog, I feel like my role is to show that those little girls that I grew up with and everyone around the nation, that you can pursue your dreams, and no matter like what it is, how hard you work, you can. And I think it's really important that I can show that, because like I said earlier, gymnastics isn't really a big thing around here, and so for them to like see it come to life is really cool.
Yeah. How much did that kind of add a chip to your shoulder of, I mean, I even hear, like, you obviously always hear about Texas gymnastics around here, and like, from Ohio is always like Michigan, but Arkansas, they don't talk about club. How much of a chip was it to be like, well, I'm going to make it to that next level?
It was really cool, and I honestly didn't really realize how big of a deal it was until I was actually in it.
Yeah.
And so just taking that role and really embracing it and making it known and letting those little girls know.
Yeah, it's such a fun story. I love telling people about it. So kind of pivoting, social media is a huge thing right now, but so is women's sports. And you guys are kind of going viral for a video y'all posted about watching LSU winning. We're in such a unique sport, so we try to bring some positivity. But how else do you guys think that you guys can use social to bring some positive light to gymnastics?
Yeah, I think for me, social media is a great way for us to let people see who we are outside of just our sport. Like, if we're posting like our cute outfits, like just our fun personality and who we are outside of the gym, I think is a good way for us to use it and express that too.
Yeah, it's important to see y'all as humans, and I think especially Jordyn's done such a good job, but like at realizing y'all are more than gymnasts, and at the end of the day, gymnastics goes away. So like trying to humanize yourself to the outside world of like, yeah, I can have bad days too. Like, I'm just like you. I just happen to be really good at gymnastics.
Yeah, like most of the fans see like us out competing on the gym floor, and like they follow us for our gymnastics career. But then it's really cool, like Lauren said, like just being able to post like our outfits or like who we're hanging out with, so they can kind of get to know us on like a more personal level.
Yeah, I love that. So gymnastics here, and you've seen the growth of Arkansas gymnastics over your lifetime, but it hasn't always been all eyes on our sport in general. We're just now getting on ESPN and stuff, but we're very lucky to be in the SEC and be supported, but there are teams out there that still don't really get the visibility that we do. So what advice would you have for girls that are maybe on that team that are kind of frustrated at the lack of visibility that their sport might have?
I think just keep putting yourself out there, and just like we kind of talked about this year for our team, like put ourselves on the map and like do whatever we can to work so hard and get those scores and really just make our team like more of a performance. Like, I don't know, just kind of trying to make yourself more known as individuals and as like a team.
I think I would say that for those teams that none of their work goes unnoticed. Like, everyone works just as hard as every other team does. And so just to keep pushing and working and have that confidence in themselves, and it's growing rapidly, so that one day that will be all the same, I believe.
Got to be patient. It's hard in a sport where, like I said, perfection, all eyes are on you, but everyone wants all eyes on them too. So I'm not going to speak for you guys, but can you share a standout moment from your career where you're like, well, I'm going to remember this forever? And I'm saying that because I'm going to assume qualifying as a team to nationals is probably up there, but just talk a little bit about that experience and maybe any other achievement that you want to talk about.
Yeah, like you said, definitely the day 2 regionals was like a pivotal moment for me because we worked so hard this year and set so many standards for our team early on. And just to work every day and see all those unfold on the competition floor was so cool. And also to just be there with our team, like we were all crying. We couldn't believe it. So
Me too, so it was fine. I was crying too.
I think just working so hard and finally like getting results out of it was really cool to see and motivating and encouraging for all of us.
I would have to agree. I think that day 2 regionals was like really that moment where we finally, all the pieces finally came together, and we like all the confidence we had been building, like it finally like showed, and it was just a really cool moment and a lot of emotion.
Talk about the difference between, so year 1 you qualified by yourself, year 2 with the team. What were those 2 different experiences like?
Well, they were both really exciting, but even as a freshman, it was a little bit nerve-wracking to be an individual going by myself. Obviously, I had Nora with me, but just going with the team and like looking at all the hard work we had put in and all the blood, sweat, and tears that we put in together, and we finally got to do it together, was just such a satisfying feeling and just joy all around.
So do you guys have, either one of you, a like routine or superstition or something you have to do before meet day?
Oh, I eat Jimmy John's before every meet.
That's a little bit more normal.
Turkey bread and chips.
Together? Like on the bun?
Yep, I put the chips on
Okay.
with, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. That's not that weird. I was very superstitious, so.
Yeah. I have, well, the one about, like, I eat the same thing, and if it's, like, if I try it the first meet or, like, in our inner squads and it works, then I'm like, okay, I have to have that every day.
Yeah.
But then my other thing is, before the meet, I, like, these 3 bracelets, I always give them to my mom, and she wears them, like, on the same hand as I do.
Oh, that's awesome.
And so then after the meet, you know, she gives them back.
Gives them back.
Yeah, like I
That's
can't
special.
start if she doesn't put them on.
I like that. I like that you both had them because there's a lot of people like, oh, I don't do anything. I'm like, you're lying because you have to do something the same before every single thing. You've talked about it a little bit, but who was the first female athlete you remember looking up to and why? But you've kind of talked about it, but you can go into more detail.
Actually, mine was Jordyn Wieber. I'm not just saying that. Like, I had the poster. I had all the things of her. It was like her and Allie Raisman. I was like, oh my gosh, I want to be them. But yeah, it was definitely her. I loved her. I watched all the YouTube videos. I'd search up Jordyn Wieber Gymnastics. Like,
I would just say that growing up, I don't know why I loved her, but I was just drawn to her. And like Callie, I watched every video, every documentary, anything she had on the internet, I knew about it. But that's not weird.
No, in gymnastics it's not. It's pretty normal.
But ironically, now she's our head coach.
Yeah, I mean, you need like that one girl or that one gymnast or any sport. Like, you need that one person to look up to and like keep you going.
Okay, last question. How would you guys address any haters that your sport or team might have and advocate for greater respect for gymnastics?
I think that I would address it in a way that the haters don't really understand what we go through each and every day in training and all the hardship and what we push ourselves through. And typically those people are the people that are jealous or don't have any idea about gymnastics. And so just maybe educate yourself a little more about our sport and what we do and how we are as actual people, because we are human and everyone's human. And so I feel like it's fair to be treated like one too.
Yeah, I would have to agree. Like, most people that are like making those comments, or they're just kind of like uneducated about gymnastics, and again, they don't understand like you have to start this sport. Like, we started at 4 years old, so, and we trained 40 hours a week when we were younger, and so they don't see all that's put into it, and they just see like us competing or whatever. So I think understanding a little bit more about gymnastics and the work it takes to like get to the level we're at.
And that is a wrap for today's episode. I want to extend a massive thank you to the phenomenal female athletes who joined us today. Your stories are the heart and soul of our podcast, and your greatness truly shines through in every word. I also want to express my gratitude to the Everett Auto Group for continuing to promote the See Her Greatness campaign with locations in Benton, Bryant, and Rogers. They're not just in the business of selling cars, they're champions of celebrating female excellence in sports. To my listeners, I can't thank you enough for tuning in and being a part of this empowering journey. Remember, you can catch up on all of our episodes and stay connected with the latest from Everett's See Her Greatness campaign by following us on social media. Until next time, keep believing in your greatness, keep striving for your dreams, and keep celebrating the incredible achievements of women in sports. This is Sydney Lemmerhurt, signing off.